Hello and welcome to ELI University. Today's discussion is about assemblies. Assemblies are our way to create a corridor from an alignment and a profile. So the assembly is the third requirement for creating a corridor. We need an alignment, we need a profile, and we need an assembly. And from those three becomes the corridor. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to the Home tab and we want to go to the Create Design panel and Assembly. We're going to click the arrow, Create Assembly. It's going to ask us to give us an assembly name. We're just going to say Lake Road East because that's the name of our alignment. Assembly type is going to be undivided crowned road. Assembly style, ELI basic assembly is fine. Code set style, we can go with basic. That's fine as well. We're going to click OK. Down on the command line, it's going to ask us to specify the assembly baseline location. Put it somewhere near your profile. So I'm just going to click down here. It's going to automatically zoom us into the assembly baseline marker. Now at this point, if your tool palette isn't open, I believe it opens your tool palettes and drops you in the basic tab, which is the Imperial Basic Subassemblies tab. What this allows us to do is to quickly build an assembly to match our road. Now, the first thing we need to do is figure out how wide this road is. So we're just going to eyeball it. We're going to take a distance across this road to the center line, 12 feet. So it's 12 feet going west, 12 feet going east. There's curb and gutter. There might be sidewalk. There might not be. For this training, we're going to do both the lanes and both the curb and gutters, and then we'll have a daylight on either side to give us some grading outside of the corridor. So let's zoom back into our assembly baseline. First thing we want to do is we want to pick basic lane, and it's going to ask us to select the marker point within the assembly, insert, replace, detached. The marker point is this orange box. When I click that orange box, it's going to put the crown of that basic lane right at that marker point. Now, after you set your first lane segment of your assembly, you can actually add another one. So let's say it was a 4-lane undivided highway. We could put that first lane in and then come over here and click this top marker here and drop a second lane in. For this, we're not going to do that. Once we have our lane in, I'm going to right click, which is going to close my command, or you can press enter to close your command. Now we want to add a basic curb and gutter. So I'm going to click basic curb and gutter. It's going to ask us again to select the marker point within the assembly. This is the main marker point for the baseline. These are the marker points on the actual subassembly pieces. So I'm going to click this top one here, and it's going to drop our curb in. Then what we can do is we can put in a basic sidewalk by clicking that top marker. And then from there, we can say basic side slope cut ditch. So I'm going to select cut ditch. It's asking the same questions every time. Select a marker point within the assembly. So I'm going to click this here. Now you're going to notice that it's going to give you a cut slope and a fill slope, and I'll explain that when we get into the actual assembly properties. So from here, we have 1/2 of our assembly built. Now, in much older versions of Civil 3D, you could simply mirror whichever side of the assembly you had created to the other side. In newer versions, you have to select your subassembly pieces, and if you look up in the ribbon, you get a mirror command in the modify subassembly. So what we want to do is we want to flip this to the other side and maintain the right-hand side. So we're going to select all those pieces, and then up in the ribbon's going to change to the Subassemblies tab. We're going to click Mirror. It's going to ask us to select the marker point within the assembly for the mirrored subassemblies. The marker point is going to be the baseline. Single left click it, and now we have both sides of our assembly created. If these numbers in here work, we can just run with this and build a corridor right from this. But instead, what we want to do is we want to select the baseline now, and we want to go to the ribbon. It's going to say Assembly Lake Road East because we have our Lake Road East assembly selected, and up in the ribbon we want to click Assembly Properties. In the Information tab, it's going to show us Lake Road East Assembly. It's a basic assembly. What we're concerned about is the Construction tab. The Construction tab is where we can control the width of the lanes, slope of the curb. We can control the width and the slope of the shoulder. Everything on this assembly is controlled through the assembly properties. So let's look at the right side, basic lane. Over in the input values, it's showing us that what side is it on? It's on the right side. The width is 12 feet. The depth of that pavement is 8 inches and the slope is 2%. If we needed to change any of this, we can change it right here. So let's say the width of the pavement is actually 12 and a half, which we know it's not. We measured 12, but I'm going to change this just to show you how easy this is. We changed the right side basic lane to 12 and a half. Now we're going to go to the left side basic lane and change that to 12 and a half. If we needed to adjust the curb and gutter, we can do it here. It's telling us that the insertion point's the gutter edge. We don't really need to worry about that. The gutter width is 1.5 feet. Gutter slope is 6%. The height of the curb is 3/4 foot. The curb width is 1/2 foot, and the curb depth is 1.5 feet. So let's say our curb height is only supposed to be 1/2 foot. Let's change that to 0.5 feet. Let's go to basic curb and gutter for the left side, change that to 0.5 feet, and let's click apply and click OK. That is how you create an assembly very quickly. Let's create another one. I'm going to go back to the Home tab. I'm going to go to Assembly, Create Assembly. Let's say that this is an access road, and this time it's an undivided planar road. We're going to keep assembly style the same, code set the same, click OK. We're going to click down here to drop our baseline. Let's say it only goes on the right-hand side. Let's say that our alignment is running along the left-hand edge of that roadway. We're going to click Basic Lane. We'll drop in a basic lane. And then let's say there's no curb and gutter and there's no shoulder or no sidewalk or anything. From that point, we can just say basic side slope cut ditch. Drop that in there. Right click to close the command or press enter. Let's select our baseline. Let's look at the assembly properties, the construction tab. Let's look at the basic lane right. Let's change that to, let's say it's something crazy like 22. If I click apply, behind this window, it's actually adjusting what the display of that assembly is. If we needed to use this assembly on a weird alignment that is only running on, say, the edge of pavement of the left side of an access road, we could do that with this. It doesn't have to be centered and it doesn't have to be symmetrical. You can create your assembly in a way that pushes and pulls where that baseline is based on how your alignment is designed. Click apply and click OK. And that's it for assemblies. We don't even need to do anything else. At this point, we can take these assemblies and run them along the alignment, which is going to use our proposed grade profile and create a corridor. Corridors are in the next video. Thank you very much for coming.